My one goal is to convince you that you are the creator. You aren't your name. You aren't whatever story you've told yourself. You aren't human. You literally are the creator. This is my microphone that look a little weird, but I don't like having stuff around my neck. But that's my thing, right? Back that up some. So you are the creator, and I got proof. I got scientific proof. I can trace the origin of like all of creation back to one question. And so, like I've made this the greatest scientific discovery in modern history. We're just starting off. If you are here right now, it's because I'm presenting you are the creator, and this is my proof, right? I've proven almost beyond a shadow of a doubt that all of existence boils down to one question. And my goal today is to convince you of one thing. My goal is to convince you of one thing, that when you are being present in the moment, when you are conscious and detached from your story, from everything that you know to be true, that you are the creator. My goal today is to prove to you that I am as the creator of the entire universe. And if I can prove that to you, right? Today I'm going to set out to tell you the origin story of creation itself. I'm going to tell the entire story of creation itself to prove to you that I am, right? You are the creator. To prove that when you are I am, that you are a creator. So I'm going to tell you, like today, right? It's going to be a little bit of metaphysics, a little spirituality, a little science, right? I'm going to talk, the beginning of this, right, is all going to be me laying out the origin story of creation itself from the beginning, from the very beginning, right? And prove that that I am, that consciousness of I am is the creator of all of life, of all of the universe itself. I'm going to prove that to you, right? And then I'm going to show you how mastering your mindset, learning to channel and market your passion to be of service to other people, and will help you to manifest your purpose, right? So that's what we're gonna go through today, right? Something like I want you guys to be mindful of. All growth starts in the dark, right? So the creation story goes like this, right? In the beginning was space. And space was vast, and space was infinite. And in space existed all the potentiality for everything that we know exists in space today. But up until this point, up until some point, which we trace to be a couple million or billion years ago, space was just being space. And in space, being space, the infinite, one substance, the infinite source, all that there is, space, was content being just space. But then space, as the only thing that there is, as the only thing that there is, the only thing in it, the only thing in existence, at this point in what we know as history, space is the only existence in existence. But in space lies the awareness, the ability, the possibility to be aware of its own existence. Because in anything that exists lies the potential for it to be aware of its own existence. And so space, as the one substance, as the one thing that did exist, space as the one thing that did exist in all of its infiniteness, in all of its vastness, in all of its aboundlessness, right? Space as the one substance was okay with just being space. And then one day, space got tired of being just space. And space, in that moment, created consciousness. That singular event that we know as the Big Bang was the creation of the universe, of consciousness, of math, of science, of physics, of of all of what we know is life in the one singular time, the one singular event of space as a one substance, becoming aware of itself as just space. In space was everything that life is as we know it. The stars unfolding and exploding, life blossoming and blooming, planets and particles and everything that could be, all of that existed inside of space. Or at least the possibility for all of that existed inside of space. But space was just space. It was just space. And it was the self-reflection. Right? Space in darkness, by itself, nothing else, right? By this, a singular thing, the singular thing in existence in complete darkness. I want you to imagine yourself as just space, a singular instance, by self, singular, nothing else, in darkness, nothing to talk to, nothing to see, nothing to hear, nothing to smell, nothing to taste. Just you in absolute darkness. Wouldn't you question your own existence? Wouldn't you begin in yourself to ask, am I? Do I even exist? Can I be more than just space? The same way you grow is the same way all of life grows. It's through self-reflection in the darkness and through that one singularity of event of am I. And I can show you why am I in a minute. Right? In that one singular event of creation, that one singular moment of space asking of itself, asking of the only thing that there is at this point, space. Am I? Do I exist? Can I be more? Right? And in asking that self, space created everything that we know to be true about life. Here's our Holy Trinity, right? 3 letters, 2 words, one thing, right? Am I? A singular spark of curiosity, infused in it everything needed for creation. There are 2 powerful substances, the 2 most powerful substances in all of creation, in all of known history, in all the time that man has existed as we know as man is thought and desire. There have never been 2 things. And in this singular questioning and asking of itself, am I? Do I exist? Space created the male, female, in the necessary forces of magnetic and electricity of thought and desire. And what came first? The am, which will later be known as Ma, the mother, right? I, nested in the womb of the question of self. Am I? Right? But there is no space. So, this singular instance of questioning, of consciousness, of creation, right? It starts as a singular entity. But just like thought, just like the thought, as it unravels and it expands, it becomes more. It begins to ponder. And do I exist? Becomes the thought of, can I be? Which is now, right? So it spirals up. And at this point, it splits. Right? It splits there into can I be? The thinking of what would it be like to be? And then the womb of creation, the desire of how would it feel to be? How would it feel to be? No, ma'am. And it's asking itself, am I the mother, my desire, magnetic, always driving upwards towards center, right? The womb of creation. Thought. The father, I, always driving down towards center to ponder, to question, to think about more, driving towards each other, right? And they start here as am I. But they're always entangled and they're always spinning. 1, negative 135, 1, 45-degree angle, right? Split. This is from 45 degrees both ways. But this becomes negative 135. This becomes 45. And when they converge back at this point, they are reconvened. Now, this at the negative 145, right? As it was. But this now on the opposite side as the plus 135. Still in the same direction, pointing to a center, pointing to a center. And this creates the stability, the creation, the creon of life, of I am burst of light, which creates all of creation. All of life is bounded in this stability of I am. All of it. Every atom, every structure, every molecule, in this perfect resonance of light, of creation, of I am. I am. And from there, this, as the conscious being of creation, sets out and creates all of the land of I am that, which is the physical manifestation of I am energy, resonated at a particular experience. And this is the entire known universe, right? That's the entire known universe. The stars unfolding, the planets building, every creature, every insect, every speck, every molecule, a manifestation of I am, expressed definitively as I am that. Everything is creation. It's space answering itself of can I be more than just space, and then answering itself of all that it can be as an I am experience. I am that. And that's life. That's the I am. And you, when you are being present as I am, not as a human being, not as your name, not as your birth date, not as your city, not as your race, not as your state, but as a present and conscious being, as I am. You are the living, breathing, creative force of the creator of all of everything in life. And it's proven through every expression of creation in humanity. Every further movement of bringing the unmanifest to the manifest is through the human mind of thought and desire. When they combine, when you as a human, when any of us are aware of our I am energy and said, I definitely know that it is possible. I definitely desire to bring that experience to existence. We are the creative force to bring that from the world of unmanifest to manifest. That is proof that you, when you are being I am, is the creator of the entire universe. Proof. Scientific. Every equation, all of the missing things, they've been trying to take desire and emotion out of the equation. And I'm telling you, your passions, your pure desires to know thyself is a magnetic force combined with your thought as an electric force to fuse and create all of creation. All of creation. Magnetism is the first manifested energy of all of space, of emotion, of space itself, desiring to know itself. And all of electricity is the thought of space itself, pondering and generating the energy necessary of what can I be? All of it. All of it. And when those two energies reconvene at the 0, mark, after they have spun out and re-enter at the perfect points of entry, shout out to my man Terrence Howard, an I am experience is born. And when this is born, this is almost as infinite as anything, because it is the charge, the downward pulling charge towards center of thought, and the upward pulling charge of desire that create the stability necessary. This is constant motion. This is resonance, equal and opposite force pulling on each other to create a relationship that is almost unbreakable. That's why they can't do nothing with them pyramids. That's why they still here. Because when you build like this, ooh, baby, almost indestructible. And this is who you are. This is your consciousness. This is your awareness, right? This is the thing that you move throughout all of reality with, right? You can move anywhere on this realm as a I am. As a I am, you can be anywhere. Now, this is where we get our scales from, our time scales, right? So this becomes the finite possibility. This becomes the infinite. That's why I started that here, right? So this is to infinity and beyond, right? That's going to keep going, right? It started here, right? Where it was like finite. This, you would see the scale, like where it grow, right? And it's like limited possibility. But from this point, like this point right here is all like known creation, right? And this is just all the stuff that like, this is like the dark space where it's like, that was a rare accident. That was like random, right? This was like, this the shit that's like, like nobody really want to see that happen. But it's still got a possibility. Like it could. Like of all things that could happen, it could happen, right? Like, and this is like finite possibility with like some like high desire, right? But like, and then, it like possibility goes over here. So once it comes up, and it creates the scales. And so, basically, right, this is proof that you are I am. Now, how does this relate to you? So now, right, now that I showed you the proof that you are the creator, that I am is the creator, right? So this is proof. The question was, am I, right? And that energy spiraled up out of space, right? Out of space as the one source substance, and it split, right? When as the thought, as the singular charge, as that singular spark of creation, as it spiraled up, it began to ponder and expand and become the separation of thought and desire, right? Desire residing in the lower half and becoming the womb of creation, right? The mother, the feminine, the magnetism driving towards action up, right? And then thought became the father, the pondering, the mind that we know. So like that became the heart part of us, or in expression, the heart part of the universe, right? Thought and desire. And those two forces, once they were separated, right, from one source of what is now consciousness, infused in this one question, is everything needed for consciousness. It's the self, right? That's the Trinity. There's the self, and then there's the feminine, right? There's the questioning, right? There's the longing, and then the pondering. Am I, right? Three things made of two that is just one. Am I? And in that infused is everything, right? It's self, it's experience, and that's in this space. For experience, right? You need space, you need a self, and you need the longing to desire, like the drive to be more than just space, right? And then that's all. That's the formula for creation. It's space, possibility, and a desire to know the space, right? To be more than just space. That's how everything is created. We live in space. We don't live in no space. We live in space. So in space, there's infinite possibilities and there's infinite desires. And you as an I am consciousness can now control where you are on the board. This is where I show you how. How do you do that, right? How do you use this information of as I am to create the life that you want? When I tell you, if you believe this shit, if you believe all of this stuff, now, this is like, there's some scientists, there's some spirituality, but I don't have any formal training in like physics, right? I did go to school for chemistry, but I was a horrible student, D average. Don't ever look at my transcripts. I was just a chemistry major because I thought I was supposed to be smart. So that's not like, I'm not a scientist, but there's proven, like, this stuff just has been coming to me, these angles and stuff. There's another side of it. I did just get raised recently, so that could be a part of it, right? But that's a whole nother conversation. So this information of angles and stuff is not like, it's just coming to me. I'm not that, like, I'm into spirituality, but I'm not versed in it, right? Like, I know there's stuff about like the chakras and stuff. I'm just learning about it as I'm going through this. This information is coming to me. There's a purpose that we all feel called to. My purpose, I've always felt called to, was freedom. I did as a kid. As a kid, I tell you, my first memory of feeling called to something was first grade, Miss Russell's class, George Clymer Elementary, on 12th and Rush, in which the first Black History Month, we were given the task of figuring out like historical Black leaders, and I learned about Malcolm X, Langston Hughes, Martin Luther King, like all of these different men and their ability with words. And I just remember being enamored with leadership, with like the ability to help and move people through speech, through messaging, through inspiration, right? And even more so being inspired by Jesus, like literal Jesus, being like, yo, that's a dope way to like live life, where you just spread love through talking, right? Like, it's such an amazing thing, and just inspiring people. And so I've always felt called to do that. I always felt called to do that. But like I said, I went to school for chemistry. When I went to school for chemistry, I was just trying to follow the path that I was being told, right? I graduated high school, 17 years old. My wife, who's, now, she was pregnant with my oldest daughter coming out of high school. We one of those couples. So I'm like, man, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. I got to, build a family. I'm thinking that I got to really follow this model. Inside of me is the desire to save the world, is to be bigger, is to be some type of figure of leadership, to help people, right? Got to call and feel called to that. But I'm like, all right, well, I got to do it this way. So I go to school, I try to major in chemistry, say I'm a cure cancer. I'm learning about the social sciences, etc. School, I'm not that good at it, right? But I learned about college, right? I get out of my environment. I learned that there's more possibilities, and I become more, right? And so I start on this journey. I go to college. I fail, right? All of my kids were born while I was in college. And that's what, like, so I go to college. I fail. All my kids were born while I was in college. I was in college for 5 years. And, I'm the youngest of my parents' 8 kids. So my mom seeing one of her children get a degree was on me, right? That was my responsibility. I was her baby. I was a smart one. I was blessed. My parents kind of, they were recovering addicts. So I grew up. We on air right now. Hold on. Yeah, that's funny. But I grew up, inner city, right? My parents were recovering addicts. But by the time I came along, they got better, right? We kind of wound up middle class hood. So I'm like the last of the Mohegans. I'm smart because all of my siblings, right? I got 7 siblings, so I'm just learning from everybody, right? Like, I'm just watching everybody. They like, oh, you smart. I'm thinking, I'm like, no, I'm just watching everybody else. And then, the pride and all of that is riding on me going to college and becoming the first one to graduate. And I failed, and I felt horrible. And I had 3 kids. I lived with my mom. Like, I had to move back in with my mom. It was just crazy. It was a crazy situation. So that's how I got into self-help, right? So I failed college. I'm lost. I don't want to look at nothing towards chemistry, so I don't know what to do. Like, I'm like, bro, I just spent like 4 or 5 years in college thinking I'm gonna be a chemist and thinking I was gonna make money this way, and I'm never gonna do that. I'm nowhere near it, and I was just lost. And then I felt like I just got a calling. Like, so around that time, ET, the hip hop preacher, YouTube was new. He started taking off on YouTube. All these people that, like motivational speaking was a thing if you're into it, but if you're not into self-help or personal development, you don't know about Les Brown, Tony Robbins, none of that stuff, right? So when ET popped off for us as a generation, it was kind of new because YouTube made him a thing, right? Now you're going viral. Like a speaker didn't go viral until ET, right? And I don't think we've seen anything like that. So we like ET going viral. So you learning about motivational speaking and like it becomes something else. And I'm like, oh snap. All right, no, that seemed cool. Like that kind of like, that's not preaching. It's not social. It's like being a social worker. Like that's a little different. Like I can be independent. I can do it my way. And then I get an invitation to this event at the campus. And the guy, he's like, yo, I got a program. Like you seem like you'll be nice. You could like do speaking. Like it's like entrepreneur or whatever. And like all of my friends keep like saying all stuff to me. And it's like, yo, be a speaker, be a speaker, be a speaker. And I read this book, The Alchemist. It says something about personal legend. I remember I was working at a pharmacy, and I remember reading The Alchemist and just realizing that I was like the guy in the glass shop, like right, like I was putting off my dreams. Here I was, I always wanted to do something big. I always wanted to change the world. I always wanted to do something amazing, free people, and give back. And that wasn't nowhere where I was going. Confronted with like a decision. What you gonna do? I jumped. I did. I quit my job. Like me and my wife was about to buy a house. We had thousands of dollars into this house. I just fuck it. Like I'm out. We both were working these jobs, and by this time we had 3 kids, building our little family. At first it was cool, but then we started to see like, we working, we barely spending time together, we beefing. That's my best friend. We've been together since 8th grade. So we beefing, we going through the struggles. I'm like, yo, this lifestyle is not leading to us to where we really want to be. So we ultimately had to make it, like we made a decision. Like, bro, let's try it another way. Let's go entrepreneur. We're gonna make this work. We're gonna figure this out. And at that time, it's the internet, all this stuff. So we jump all the way in. We like buy some courses, do all that stuff, quit our jobs. I moved back with my mom. My mom had a 3-story house. My parents, I'm sorry, I keep saying my mom. My parents, I've never lived with just I always say that just because it's like program, but like I live with both my parents. Shout out to my daddy, right? But I moved back in with my parents. They had a 3-story house in North Philly, so they had some space. So we moved back in with them. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna figure this out, this entrepreneur stuff. I know I ain't just graduate. I'm thinking it's gonna be easy, right? I got the gift of gab. I can talk. I'm intelligent, but I'm traumatized. I just failed for the first time in my life, and that sucked. I didn't know how to deal with it, right? Like I, if I'm honest, I fell into like a depression for the first time. I was drinking, smoking. I'm trying to do all this entrepreneur stuff, but like I'm questioning if I'm smart. I'm questioning all this stuff because I couldn't get through college. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like I've seen people that was like kind of I thought was not as smart as me doing it, and so my psyche is fucked up. And so I was looking at everything from what I would learn from the wrong mindset, right? But I wouldn't learn that till later. But I'm torn. Like I know I gotta pursue something bigger, but I'm questioning myself. Like, am I a protege? Am I smart? Am I good enough? Can I make it out? Right? Do I have what it takes? Right? Because I had started to like party a little bit on campus and is hanging out with my friends and stuff. I'm like, damn, I'm not even that bad. Like but shit wasn't going my way. I'm like, bro, so I'm questioning myself. I'm beating myself up. So I'm not working as much. Like I'm learning stuff, but I'm not implementing anything because it's not really a possibility for me. I'm in a place of doubt and so forth. That happened for about 6-7 years. There's a lot of death in here, right? All growth starts in darkness, but that happened for like 6-7 years. So for like 6-7 years, I'm just going back and forth, like unemployment, get a job, be working, try to like build something, and then I'll get that call again, so I'll quit, try to build something, but I'm like my mind isn't. I'm traumatized. I went to college and thought I was going to graduate, and I didn't. And I could like admit that now, but I didn't know that, right? And so after like I said, 6 7 years, I'm like, all right, I got a family now. My kids are getting older now. They like I can't afford to just be getting them little cheap sneaks and stuff. Like now they need stuff. Now they're like, yo, no, Dad, I need some like Nikes. We need some stuff. So and culturally as a father, I want like all of this is for them. So it's all right, bro. I gotta make a decision. I gotta figure something out. Like this shit ain't working. So I'm at this point where um, I'm like, all right, I'm either gonna go back to I'm going to either get a trade or I'm going to like go to trucking school or I'm about to like do something, right? I'm about to do something that is a career to just get benefits and get something going, right? And thank God I didn't do that. That's another part of the story. But um, I'm at that point, right? And I'm just questioning everything. I'm like, yo, what can I do? Where can I go, etc. And then randomly, just randomly, bro, I came across this article about mindset. And I'm doing this for me more than anything else. I came across this article about mindset. And I read about the fixed mindset and the growth mindset by Carol Dweck. And when I tell you I felt exposed all of my life after I got accepted into Parkway West, or what was Gavonne High School, a special admission high school, was from the perspective of fixed mindset. Once Parkway said that I was smart and everybody in the hood was like, yo, you smart, I stopped doing all of the stuff that made me smart in the first place. I started trying to like look smart instead of actually do the smart thing, such as researching and studying and being a nerd in terms of learning. Because that's all I did, right? Like when I was in the house by myself, I stayed on punishment a lot. I just read and I just like I did nerd stuff because ain't nothing else to do, right? Like my mom made sure we had books in the house. My pop always was tinkering, so like I was thank God for the space, right? That's, in the beginning you saw that, right? Thank God for the space to be me, to self-reflect. So I developed these nerd tendencies of just being by myself and studying in middle school because I stayed on punishment all the time. And then when I got to high school, I started pretending to be smart. And so I'm reading this article and it's like, just like, yo, fixed mindset is this, growth mindset is this. And I'm like, bro, I've been doing everything wrong, like from the wrong mindset. I'm like, oh shit, I want to do everything over, right? So, and I'm a mama's boy. So I go down, I talk to my mom. I'm just, I had moved out, found like somewhere to live, cheap, whatever, me and my little family, right? So I go back to my mom's house. I'm talking to her, of course, and I'm like, Mom, I'm going back to school. I'm serious. I'm gonna do it. And I just remember like feeling so excited. And the universe has a way of testing you, right? So like this part of all growth starts in darkness. Almost 2 weeks after saying I was going back to school, then I was like recommitted to like I'm gonna give her a degree. My mom died, and my mom died December 27th, 2018. On December 23rd, 24th, my mom, I got a call. I was doing Amazon Flex. Amazon Flex was brand new. I had been working, and like I said, I was going through that turmoil. Like, yo, I got to do better for my kids. So I was doing some work, some like side jobs, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna go out because the last Christmas, the Christmas before, they didn't get shit. Like, it was a horrible Christmas. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna work hard. So I'm working hard for them, and I'm doing Amazon Flex in the morning. That morning, I'm like, yo, it was Christmas Eve. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna go out and shop. It was it Christmas Eve? Christmas Eve or Christmas? I can't, like, it was 23rd or 24th. I think it was 24th. Yeah, Sandy was only in the hospital for 3 days. So it was Christmas Eve, right? The morning of Christmas Eve, I'm doing Amazon Flex, make some extra money so I can go out and buy them some extra toys. Because last year, right? So I'm out, I'm running. This car, it never locked. The car never locked. I promise you, we had this car for about 2 3 years at this point. It never locked while the keys was in the ignition. I thought it was like a special thing. So I was doing Amazon Flex. I get out the car to do a package, and my dad, like I locked myself out. While I'm locked out the car, my dad called me and like, Bonnie, I'm taking your mom to the hospital. The ambulance is here. And mind you, my mom had already had 3 open heart surgeries, so we used to Sandy going through some shit, right? And like it was just casual. It was like, all right, and if I had about 2, 3 more packages to do. So if I would have not been locked out of my car, I would have been able to talk to my mom. Oh shit! But I was locked out. I was locked out the car for like an hour, and my wife had to come and unlock the car. I finally get back in the car. I don't know. I'm used to my mom going to the hospital. So I finish the thing, and I go right to the hospital. And I'm like, oh man, like, here Sandy go with this shit again. So I walk in there, and as I'm walking in, I see my mom, and she's foaming at the mouth, and she's shaking. And this shit, like, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And they start running in, like everybody start running in, and they putting machines and shit. And I'm in shock. I'm just like watching this fucking Asian doctor. I will never forget this shit. The Asian doctor walked up to me, like, hey, like, are you our son? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, what's going on? He's like, your mom ever talked to you about end of life plans? Just like fucking sunk in my like what you mean, bro? He's like, your mom is having a massive stroke. She has a massive brain bleed on her head. If we don't do surgery, your mom is going to die. I talked to my mom 2 weeks prior. Part of the conversation was my mom telling me explicitly, Gavonne, don't let them operate on me. I'm tired. I don't want to be operated on anymore. Confronted with the choice to choose to grow. Falter. I called everybody. I know what my mama said. I called everybody. I called my dad. He's like, well, call your mom, call your grandma, brother, her brothers and sisters, your siblings. See what everybody say. Call me back. Nobody answered. Came down to me. Whatever you say, fine. Hey man, go ahead and do that surgery. Go ahead and do that surgery. I could not let my mama go. I couldn't. I didn't want to. We did the operation a day, Christmas, day after, 27. And I knew it as soon as they did the surgery. It wasn't for her. The surgery was for everybody else. I knew that other people needed a moment with my mom. So for them days, people flew in everywhere, all over the world. Hospital unit full of people. Love, admiration. I knew my mom died. My mom wasn't in her body when she had that surgery, so she didn't have to suffer through that. And I can be I can live with that in a sense. Her body had to go through that for other people, and I apologize for that. But the lesson was you got to grow through everything you go through, no matter how hard it is, no matter how difficult. You have to be the master of your mind. I've been spending all of these years like promising this fucking lady I'm gonna get her I just agreed and I'm gonna do all this shit, and I didn't do it because it's me. I'm just up there bullshitting and I'm overthinking and she told me my whole life I could do anything possible. And I never got to show her. So her 9 was the mindset. Alright? That was the spark of I grow through everything. Grow through it everything. Grow through it all. Alright, that was the spark. That was the I am definitive moment of my mom, as when they pulled cords and that last breath, everybody crying. I walked outside and I said to myself, I'm moving forward from here better. Definitely, I'm not gonna let this shit, because I ain't get to show her. I didn't get to fucking show her, and I'm gonna show her because she gonna know. I did my little lap, and I came back to the hospital. And I knew from that moment I wasn't gonna be the same. I knew it. And so that's how I got the mindset, right? So I was like, yo, so now, right? I'm motivated as ever, right? So, my mom, her funeral was January 2nd. Classes start January 15th. I'm like, I'm going back. I'd already registered. I was like interviewing for this job, doing something, right? It wound up fell through because I think they thought I was lying when my mom died. I was supposed to go do something, and like the day that I was supposed to go, my mom was in the hospital. And I think they all thought I was lying. So the job fell through or whatever. But whatever, I go back to school. I wanted to find another opportunity where I can make some money. Yeah, I wanted to find another job, right? Another job where it was like a little bit more flexible. I want driving, doing stuff I can make some money, have some overtime. So I'm doing that. I'm going back to school. Like, I'm majoring in business. So I started learning about marketing, right? But it's mindset. It's all mindset. Reason why I don't want to go back to school because I was just such a horrible student. But I was like, bro, I know I'm fucking smart. So I kind of had to just prove to myself that I wasn't dumb, right? So I went back to school and I was like, all right, mindset. And I was dedicated to being an excellent student. And I was. And I wound up with a 4.0 GPA. So now I'm like, all right, no, this mindset shit worked, right? I'm like, oh shit, like, yeah, you got it, right? So like, I started doing some more business stuff, right? So I wound up booking like a paid speaking gig, right? And then mindset became my thing. So I developed my own framework for mindset, right? I was like, yo, how do you shift your mindset? And the first step was like, you got to identify your fears, right? And that decision, like with choosing with my mom, I was afraid to move forward, right? Like I was afraid to lose my mom. And that's like, you cannot grow in fear. That's just like, that's the finite place. You cannot grow from there. So I had to, right, like identify my fears, right? Fear is false unless it's related to danger. Only time as a human being, fear is going to be useful to you is when there's a life or death situation. And so if it's not a life or death situation for you, right, fear is false. Right, so if you're able to recognize that fear is false unless it's related to danger, you can choose to forget fear, right? You can forget the fear and move forward, right? And so that was the first part. So the first part started with fear, and now that I know that fear, when you're operating in fear, you're operating in that finite place. Your possibilities to create here are limited because there are no possibilities. This is the fear zone. You can't create anything like that's really good from here. You can get some experiences, but they're going to be kind of trash, right? And so as everything, there's a spiral, there's a buildup. So as I started to fix my mindset, more and more things started to become more possible because I wasn't letting fear stop me, right? But fear isn't the only thing, right? So in mindset, there's also the when you're confronting things, you also have to be willing to grow. So you have to be committed to growth. So that was the second part. So for me, it was fear, right? Identify your fears, recognize that fear is false. Forget fear unless it's related to danger, right? So that's the first part of mindset. That's how you get out of this zone, right? After that, step 2, as a conscious I am, you have to be committed to growth, right? You have to recognize that like growth is through a spiral. There's a process of growth, right? And so strength only comes through struggle. There's never been a time when you've gotten better, where you have improved, when you've grown, where it wasn't a result of some sort of resistance, right? Some sort of like climbing up that you got to go through, right? So that's what became the model, right? Growth through. So then you got to commit to grow through everything you grow through. And how do you grow through everything you grow through? You choose the challenges. You have to look for the stairs that are like the next step up that's going towards that which you want. And that's just a mindset thing, right? And this is all, again, I'm connecting this stuff now, but this was in 2017, 2018, 2019, right after my mom died, right? So I'm developing this framework of mindset, commit to growth. This is what I'm telling myself, right? I'm working this through. So I start using this same framework to speak to first generation students who are my first audience. I'm like, yo, bro, as a first generation graduate, or failure, I'm like, bro, I'm really passionate about helping students that's coming through here. So I'm like, yo, this is what I would tell them to go forward. So I booked my first speaking gigs using this or whatever. Master your mindset, right? Identify your fears, commit to growth, claim your I am. You I am in some cultures is your God name, right? And this is, again, it's 2019. I'm nowhere near any of this stuff. So, right, so claim your I am, right? And it's like your I am is your God name. You are I am, right? When you aren't facing fears, right? When you're committed to growth, you can grow and become anything you want to be, right? You can say I am that, right? And never let anybody control your I am. That makes up your entire identity. And you can control that. If you can say I am, even in the Bible, right? Let the weak man say, I am strong. If you can claim your I am, right? And be conscious and be present, not in fear, committed to growth, you can grow and become whatever you want. You can master anything, right? And so that mastery of mindset that I was back then teaching was related to this in terms of unlocking the field of infinite possibilities, right? You cannot create without thinking that something is possible. That's why mindset is first. But fear is going to be the first inhibitor of mindset because it makes you think about everything you don't have and what you can't do instead of what you do have and what you can do, right? And so, again, unless it's life or death situations, and the fear is you're going to move. It's not going to matter in life or death situations. You don't got time to think. And as somebody from North Philly, I'm telling you from an example, when shit is going down, fear is a friendly thing. And it's not a thinking thing. It's an action thing, right? And so, right, recognize unless that in you or in a situation like that, fear is false, right? Forget the fear. Be committed to growth. Choose the challenges and claim your I am. I am strong. I am that, right? And so that's the mindset part. I learned that, right? So now my life is getting better. My life is improving almost overnight from the mindset shift. My mom died December 27, 2018. By January 2019, right? By January 2019, the following year, I, after only going to school for 2 semesters, I secured a job working for a magazine as a video editor, working and also as a co-writer, which would lead to a SEO role, a management role, and really getting a chance to get marketing certifications, everything. This is less than a year later, January 2019, right? I had a framework that I could use within my desired industry in terms of for speaking to audiences, right, and had begun to book paid in consistent gigs, right. This is all January 2019, right. Within a year of that, so going into 2020, right. This is like this. I'm ready. I'm roaring. Let's get it, baby. It's about to be. But then y'all know what happened. COVID, right? So, no. So, okay, no, I'm not doing the speaking gigs, but my life is improving, right? I'm sorry. I'm skipping the story. And excuse me, but this is all practice for me anyway. So, right, whatever, right? I basically tripled my income in a year. I had gone back to school, got all A's, got a job and more aligned with what I want to do in media, right? Got the ability to start like working with cameras and content and do SEO research and marketing, which is aligned with what I wanted to do because I wanted to become an entrepreneur. So I'm like, oh, yeah, this is great, right? So in mindset, I'm just in a year, my life like literally completely changed from like I was making less than 30,000. Like I said, I basically tripled my income. Well, shit, I was making like about less than about like I was making about like 20,000. So then I basically like tripled my income. So I'm doing better, right? I'm making some more money. I could do some shit with my kids. We doing all right. 2019 was a good year, right? And that's in 1 year of just the growth mindset, the application of it, and that's great, right? So I'm going through it. Bet we're going into 2019. I mean, we're going into 2020. There's a lot of momentum, right? And then there was kind of like a pause for everybody. COVID happened. But COVID for me, right, was something that was like doubly symbolic. So at the same time, right, and then like again, remember this: all growth starts in darkness, right? Here it is, mindset. I'm motivated, right? I'm on the right path, but I'm still not doing exactly what I want to do. I'm still not living in like the passion zone, the flow state zone where stuff is unfolding and it's like, yo, I'm big and all my dreams is coming true. It's still not happening in that way, right? I'm not like making any big discoveries. So, but I had grown and that it was cool. I'm appreciative of that. If I keep looking down, it's just because I'm thinking now. I know this is practice. So, COVID hit, right? My mom passed, as you know, right? You saw me crying on here a couple minutes ago. COVID hit in 2020. So my mom passed 2018, right before 2019. My dad had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in 2017. So when my mom died, it was kind of a surprise because we had just been like dealing with my dad trying to have surgery for his cancer, right? And kind of dealing with like, all right, well, is he going to live? Because he would be doing good and his numbers would be low. And then he'll have like a drastic turn in pancreatic cancer. The number, the crazy, like it's crazy. So he battling for like the last 3 years, right? And then right as COVID broke, like COVID happened March 11th or something like that. I think March 20th, my dad got rushed to like the hospital in emergency. It's COVID. You can't go to the hospital. He in there. My pop, no, he don't like people. So even dying, Pop was like, yo, get me the fuck out of here. Like, I don't care. Just get me home. If I'm dying, like, let me just die at home, bro. So I'm talking, like, the first couple of days, I'm talking to them. They like, yo, he dying, so on and so forth. Like, you gotta sign these papers. I'm dealing with the emotional trauma. Like, what? Like, this is real. And then trying to get him out the hospital at the same time during COVID because, they wouldn't let you up there. So they let me go up there. I almost get in a fight with the security guard because they didn't tell him that they was letting me up there because he was dying and so on and so forth. So he tell me that he's not going back there to check. I'm like, bro, I came all the way up here to see my pop and somebody gonna let me see him. And he said no. And I'm like, listen, man, you looking at me like I'm not a nigga from North Philly and I am. And and then it just like it kind of started escalating. And my other boy came in. He went and got my man ran for me. I came back out like, bro. And I explained to him like, bro, I don't even get like that. That's my pop though. That's my pop. So whatever. We get my pop out of the hospital. He home on hospice for like a month. So my dad come home probably like the first week of April, right? He went in. He was in the hospital for like a week and a half. That first week of April, we was able to get him home on hospice because they think he was gonna die like within a day. That's why they were like, nah, we ain't gonna send him home. But he like, nah, like send me the fuck home. I don't care. So he made it home. He made it home. We got him a bed, and for the next month, me and my dad got intimate. You hear me? Because my dad, and not liking people, he don't trust people. And me and my father and I had an intimate relationship in terms of that was like one of my best friends. So as he was going, it was even more. He didn't want too many people around. He didn't want anybody to see him like that. So my brothers, and specifically my sisters, he didn't want them because he had to be bathed and stuff. So he kind of put that on us, and we got intimate. You know what I'm saying? And I talked to my dad about life, about death, about it all. I gave him his flowers. It's a process that, like, with me and him, I'm so glad that we had to be able to do. As you can see, when I start talking about my mom, I just instantly start crying. But with my father, there was like this kind of this period where he kind of cleared the air, and was able to talk. And I ain't have no bad blood for my dad. I always loved him. I appreciated him. Like I said, he was already one of my best friends. But just talking to him man to man during that time, it was just like a vulnerability that, seeing him in a different capacity. He was always on the job, always being a dad, always being a son. He was just always so serious. And watching him during that time, right? My dad, it was like he had so much regret for never doing what he wanted to do. Like for as talented and as intelligent and as capable as my dad was, he never lived from a place of passion. Always subdued, always. And so, like, his last moments, are watching him struggle and fight death. My dad died for like 36 hours, bro. He died one time. He was in there traumatizing us, bro. And again, I can talk about this shit. If I had to watch my mom go through that shit, I wouldn't be able to do this shit with y'all. But with my pop, it was different because it was just like he was so strong. So I'm just watching him and just watching the process. And then, like, as a son, it's like kind of like, all right, that's kind of what I got to go through. So like, there's a rites of passage with that shit, bro. Like, I don't know, your pop just builds you different for that shit. So like with him, me and him, I love my dad as much as I love my mom, if not more. But it's just a different relationship. And I like when dealing with him, it's like, all right, yeah, bro, I got you. I'm here for you. Yeah. My mama. So either way, right? But I'm watching my dad die and I'm watching him struggle. He died and then he came back. He died. My dad's last words was, "Wait a damn minute." And I promise you, everybody in my family said he was talking to my mom. My dad, he was looking, right? And he was talking to somebody. He wait a damn minute. And that's how he talked to my mom. That's like saying he was over there like, "Yo, bro, come on, Thomas, stop trying to fucking stay over there. It's over. Come on." And he waited a damn minute. And he died, never living from that place of passion. And so, from watching my father die, right? That's where I got to market your passion. Right? It's COVID, right? It's a year of being forced with dealing with, my emotions of just losing my mom. I ain't get to face that shit for real. I'm all mindset. Let's go. I'm growing. I'm doing stuff. I ain't get to face my emotions. So when COVID first hit, I'm in the house with my dad dying, thinking about my mom who just died, traumatized, like going through shit, but then questioning life and death because it's COVID and everybody's dying around you. And it's just like, yo, if I fucking die, like, did I even fucking live? What do I want to do? And I don't want to go out like my daddy. I love my daddy. But there's a reason why you watch your daddy to learn shit, whether it be through vicariously or through direct lessons. And so watching it, I'm like, bro, I'm not going out like that. I'm trying to go peacefully. I'm at least say I tried this shit. Like, all right, bro, come on, let's go. Damn, man, I gave it a good try. Like, fuck it. But main man was tight. And most of my dad's life, he never got to live from that place of passion. So I'm like, bro, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do. So I'm renewed with the vigor to do the speaking thing, right? And so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do the speaking thing, right? So this is where the passion come in. There's a marketing side, right? So I'm learning marketing at the same time. I'm working at my job. So, right, I'm all right, I'm gonna do the speaking thing, right? And I got my framework. I get speaking gigs. I'm killing it, right? So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get speaking gigs, right? So I get a bunch of speaking gigs. I get my framework. I launch my website, mindset, and the passion. Like, yo, I gotta do this shit, right? I get a speaking course. It's all during COVID, right? I'm working for my job, but we bullshitting for real. We getting paid, whatever. We chilling. They know because they got some money, so we ain't even gonna talk about that. So it's a balance, right? I was able to get some money for my job that was coming in. I'm doing some work, but I'm bullshitting. I'm doing most of my stuff. I'm growing. I'm learning stuff, right? I'm living from a place of passion, but that it only go but so far, right? There's like a disconnect. It's missing. I'm like, bro, I gotta learn marketing, right? I gotta get this shit out. I gotta figure out how to get people out there. So I'm like, I'm in that place, like, yo, I gotta figure out this marketing shit, right? I got a couple speaking gigs. I got some stuff, but it wasn't growing anywhere. It wasn't really taking off. I didn't have any consistency. And then after a while, I got called back into the office, just like everybody else. But I got a promotion. So he called me back in the office. And they're like, yo, we want you to come back in, but we're gonna give you a new role. We want you to run the social media. We want you to be the media department manager, and we're gonna have you do the social media marketing. So I go in there, and again, now I get to learn more from like what I'm trying to do. So they pay for course for me to like get certified in marketing and all this stuff. So I'm learning all this marketing stuff. And I'm like, oh shit, yo, I know how to do this shit. Like, and I got good at it. Made them $1 million, spending $65,000 in ads, and that's really good, right? This is my first campaign I ever ran, right? I ran it for the year, fluctuating budgets, but I wound up going back, and we were able to generate over, what was it, like 600 leads, right? Of course, they were Facebook, so there was some low quality stuff. But in terms of actual enrollments, I calculated over $1 million. And it's more than that. Like, I would have specific numbers, but just in an organization like that, the tracking and stuff is very hard. So what I could find and coordinate, because they didn't have any system, right? So I literally go into a situation where they don't have much of the marketing developed. So I'm able to implement CRMs and emails and text message and all of that, working along with somebody in India, right? And then they pay for courses. So I'm really like, I'm getting a full-fledged marketing like degree, learning on the job, getting paid, getting money, good money because I got a raise. And then when I showed that I made that much money, it got an even more raise, right? So now this is like 2021. I go from 2 years ago when I just learned about mindset to like I'm doing well, right? And so I was able to buy my house, right? I got a crib. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm doing good, right? It's mindset and marketing, right? I'm all marketing out. I was living for that piece of passion, right? Like speaking, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna do that. Like I'm gonna do that. Let me get this money first. Let me do this shit. Like because I know there's marketing stuff. Like the marketing. So I start trying to get clients, making more money. I got a mortgage, all this stuff, right? So I learned about the like your passion part, right? From my pop. I'm living from that pace of passion. Got to do that, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do the speaking thing. So I'm doing that, right? I'm building that. I write another book in between, right? I wound up leaving the one job, going to another job, write a book in between. I'm like, no, let me go learn a little bit more about the marketing. Work in an agency. I get to work for different companies. I'm doing like the marketing stuff. Then marketing kind of became my focus, right? Because it was making money, it was paying the bills, right? Really, I'm still doing what I want to do, right? But like marketing, I'm trying to blend it in, right? I'm trying to like be slick and be like, all right, marketing, that's what people want. So I'm doing that for a while, but again, it's still not clicking. It's still not like nothing's going on, right? It's still not the alignment, right? So now, right, I'm operating in terms of alignment, right? From a place of possibility, I raised it up here, right? So now I'm here, right? In terms of the possibilities are, I know and I want, right? So the possibility of becoming a business owner, right? It has raised to the I know phase, right? But this is still in the I want. Like I want to become a speaker. I want to fill my dreams, but I got priorities. I got stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't like make this my passion, my purpose at this point, right? I'm still not really like being intentional. So I'm finding the passion because I like marketing and I'm trying to help people. So I'm like, yo, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna help people with marketing, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take the marketing and I'm gonna start helping like entrepreneurs and people to build their businesses and stuff like that. And so I start making that my focus. I start like getting some coaching clients and I'm teaching people the framework and I'm working people to build their business, whatever. But again, it's still not like it's not the alignment, right? Because I'm the desire isn't fully aligned, right? I'm not acting from this place of fully like I have to yet, right? Because the desire is I want and I have to, and then it's I think and I know, right? So I know I can do it. At this point with the marketing shit, I'm like, bro, I know I can build a successful business, right? I definitely can. Like it's possible. Like yo, it really is like you just gotta market your passion, right? You gotta like passion plus problems equals profit, right? I come up with a framework for marketing. Passion plus problems equals profit, right? You got to take what you love and what you love to do and focus that on solving one problem for a particular audience, right? If you can take what you love and how you love to express yourself and you can channel that into what you love, into a particular medium, what you love to do, like if you like to write, if you like to sing or whatever, learn to take what you love, no matter how quirky, right, and channel it into what you do. Only thing is you got to focus on a particular audience. You got to solve a particular problem. Who loves what you love? Who wants to do what you love? Who wants to experiment with it, right? Solving a problem. And so, right, I got this framework and I'm teaching people like, yeah, like that makes sense. And, you know, I got the mindset, like master your mindset, market your passion, right? And so that's what I'm teaching, right? And it's like, all right, cool. I'm making some progress. It's going, but it's still not clicking, right? I got the mindset framework, like in terms of, you know, identify your fears, commit to growth, claim your I am. I got the marketing thing. Passion plus problems equals profit, right? You got to take what you love and what you love to do, solve a problem for a particular audience, and they will pay you for it, right? And so I'm like, yeah, I'm preaching this out. I'm getting clients. I'm making this progress, but again, it's still not. I'm not feeling like this ain't it, right? Like I'm still feeling uneasy, right? I'm working at the agency, right? I'm trying to build a couple clients, right? Like, but I'm not, my desire to do that isn't, I have to, right? I don't really, like, that's not really what I want to do, right? So it's like, I'm bullshitting with it. I'm being flaky on the clients or whatever. It's just like life. Like I got the house, right? I got a nice paying job. I got a car, right? Like I'm in a better neighborhood. I'm in a better situation. But I just don't feel good, right? I'm not feeling good. I got the mindset thing. I got the marketing thing. I can get clients. I can make some money. Like I can work with people. I can build a website. I can just build a business, right? I can just start marketing some stuff online, like, right? You could do e-com, any of that. I'm thinking about all of this stuff because, again, I'm trying to align it with my passion, too, of helping people, right? I'm talking to people. I'm teaching people about marketing, all that stuff. But it's still not aligned. It's still not like that perfect alignment of, all right, this is what you called to do. And again, growth starts in darkness, right? Growth starts in darkness. May 28th, 2024. Near a little bit over a year to the day, right? To the day, 2 months. Something was bothering me. Like I was just off and I knew it, right? And I knew it. And it had been like boiling up for a while. So this day I just called out of work. I was like, bro, I'm gonna call out. Like I just can't make it in. Like I'm going fucking crazy. I'm just stressed. I'm just uneasy. I can't explain it. Like I don't like how I was feeling, right? So I'm like, bro, I'm just gonna call off. So I called out of work. I'm like, bro, my phone died. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna leave my phone off. I'm not worried about it. I'm getting sick thinking about this shit. I turned my phone off, right? I'm like, yo, I'm gonna leave my phone off. And I I turned my phone on. And my aunt Cynthia is calling. All right. I answer my phone. Aunt Cynthia crying. I can't even. Shit. I answer my phone and my aunt Cynthia is crying. Now, mind you, I have a 90-something-year-old grandma. My grandma is either 100 or 99 or 100 plus. We really don't know. She was born in parts of Georgia where they don't do birth certificates, but she was born approximately 2005, right? So I got a 90-something-year-old grandma. So when my aunt Cynthia called me crying, y'all, the last thing I think this lady is going to say, your brother died. She said she's she said she said James. She said James died. This lady said James died, and oh my God. This lady said James died. And I've never felt no shit like that in my entire life. I couldn't even, oh my God. I'm, how, what the fuck? Oh my God. This lady said my brother died. It was serious. She was dead ass serious. She was calling me to tell me that my brother died. I ain't believe her. Hey, I gotta get to my brother's house. So my wife, we only got the one car. She had drove to work. Usually I drive her. I'm like, no, I'm gonna take a day. I'm broke, struggling, right? We don't got no money. I'm paying my mortgage. I'm, you know, just I'm just in a dark place, right? So I don't gotta really get there, right? Call my fiance. I'm Polly, right? Got a partner, man. That's one of my best friends, my dog. Like, do thick and thin, right? I call her up, and I'm like, bro, I got. Can you order me an Uber? I gotta go to my brother's house. She's like, what's wrong? And that's like when I had to say it, my like I couldn't even. I, I had to like my brother died, and I just like broke down, and I'm I'm just going through it, right? So um, I get in the Uber, I tell him the address. The way that the Uber goes, it goes to the back of the house. So it's like it was a hill, and I'm like, bro, can you just take me up here? My brother died, right? And I'm just trying to get right there. So he backs up, he takes me up. He's like, bro, if that like be all right, thank you. So it's a couple of us. My brother has multiple brothers. My other brother is there. He's coming down the steps. This nigga crying. This nigga really crying. This nigga better not be up here dead. This man better not be up here dead. I walk in this room. James is dead. On the ground. He not getting up. I said, James, this what we doing? This what we doing today? You really feel like dying today, huh? You serious about this one? James did not respond. And I went outside and I cried like I ain't never cried before. My brother, he and my brother on the best of terms. All right, we wasn't beefing, but we wasn't as cool. In the years of me trying to start my business, of doing all of the stuff, the mindset shit and all of that, I got one person who I'm gonna call whenever the fuck I need some help. That's my brother. I'm calling my brother. Now, James spent most of his life in and out of jail, right? But as adults, when he home, if I call my brother, I don't care. I don't care what we going through. I'm calling my brother. My brother's coming. It's simple. When I got my house and I needed somebody to help me, we not even talking. I call him. Y'all need. All right. In the car, not talking. Go get the stuff. Do the job. See you later. Not talking. He called me. I need this. Cool. Here you go. That's my fucking brother. It's simple. It's very like an exchange of human beings. Of that's my brother. It's simple. Wasn't even. So 2 weeks before James died, James was here for my daughter's prom send-off. And James asked me to take a picture of his baby. And me being a little brother, I'm like, nah, man, I ain't doing that. Fuck y'all. Whatever. But I felt something. And I was like, bro, like, no, I was just joking. I'll take the picture. So I took the picture. And I got this picture. And Josiah Monet does not look up or smile at pictures. I have not seen her one time look at any picture. There's a picture of James and her in front of my house from that day that I took. Josiah and James are smiling at the same time, looking directly into the camera. And I remember standing next to my brother, and I was like, bro, I got to call and talk to him. Thursday, before James died, we were on the phone, me, him, and one of my other brothers. We were all on the phone talking, and I remember being so proud because James was looking at his daughter, Josiah, and he was telling us how she be knowing. So he had just discovered that Josiah was autistic, so nonverbal or whatever. But he like, bro, she be knowing. Like this little girl, like know what's going on. Like he was just adamant about it, right? Like, and I'm laughing at him because I'm like, bro, look at you, because he's my older brother, but again, he in his life, most of his life, he in and out of jail. That's it, right? So James didn't have an opportunity to build a family, to like buy a car, like this, all this stuff he had just recently done within the last 5 years, right? He had caught a case in like 2017. I was with him. I was in the car. He was down there doing his thing, but he needed some help with some technology stuff. You know, he in our jail, so he calls little brother. I pull up on him. He chilling me in the hood. He sit in my car, whatever. I see some like white folks walking around. Excuse me, like no racism, but like people who not usually in the neighborhood walking around, but they lingering. And I'm like, bro, why they lingering? I was like, I don't like this. I'm getting the fuck out of here, bro. Like y'all niggas doing too much. Y'all over here trapping. I'm down here. I gotta get my daughter. I'm just gonna go up there early. So I leave. I leave from there. James get locked up. That was the last time he get locked up. The last 5 years of his life he spent home, you know, doing the first things. Got his first car, had his first child, doing all those things, right? And so that for him, right, having his daughter and bragging about her, I just remember looking at my brother and being so proud. And that was the last time I seen my brother alive. His last, like my last thing I remember him saying was just like, bro, she be known, right? So my brother dies, all right? Growth starts in the darkness, all right? My brother dies, of course. He leaves a 2-year-old at the time. And without question, all right? That day, I pull my brother's fiance, child of his mother's side, say, hey, from this point forward, I'm going to be more active in your daughter's life. So beginning tomorrow, I'm either going to take her up or pick her up from daycare just to get acclimated, just to get more use, like just to let her get used to seeing me on a regular basis. But from this point out, her and I are going to become real close. My brother, right, would want her to get a certain amount of male leadership and love, and that's my obligation because that's my fucking brother. So I got all growth starts in darkness. I got mindset from losing my mama. I got passion from losing my father. I got purpose. I got purpose when I lost my brother. It's not just me. Not only did I get purpose, I got a sense of urgency. And watching my brother pass at just 42 years old and walking in that room and realizing that this shit could be over. Just like that. That could be you. It could be over. Like, just like that. All the shit that you dream about, everything you planning for, all of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it tomorrow, I'll do it later. They are non-guaranteed. The only time that you got to do it is now, and you better do it now. You better do it for her. You better do it for them. Me as a man, I got my family. I'm gonna make my kids, they're gonna grow up, they're gonna see it right. I'm going through it. I got my own purpose. When my brother died and he leaves back a 2-year, I got a why. My brother, my entire life, every time I outshone, I ascended into anything, my brother will remind me, you groomed for this. My father died, and I'm responsible to make it. Bonnie groomed for this. Every other sibling hating. They not backing my play. They not rolling with me, right? They not with me. He groomed for this. He the one. You the one. You the one. When James died, I got a why. I got a why. I got a why. I owe my brother. I owe my brother to do everything now that he can't do. Because all he ever wanted to do was live. All he ever wanted to do was live. And it's a now. It's a now. And that's when my dreams, my goals, my ambitions to become the world's number one, to write the book, to do the fucking thing, into the zones of I have to. Right? I have to. I have to. So now I fucking know I can do it, but I have to. And the only fucking things that come to the land of physical manifestation are those that are definitive possibilities and definitive desires of have to. And now that I have to, it is a definitive manifestation. You are in the witnessing of a process that is definite to unfold. I don't know how. I don't know how. There's 0 people in here. I don't know how. I know why though. I know why. Because I have to. Because I owe it to my brother to live, to prove him right, to take advantage of this life that I have now. And that's been the mission from that day. And look, you can go back and look. Started about June, maybe May. Start posting content and you can see it. And there's a rev up, and there's a rev up, and there's a curve, and there's a build up into motherfucker, I'm here. That's it. It's the energy. That's what we on. When you know that what you want is a definitive possibility, when you know that you definitely have to have that as an experience, you will manifest that what you want. I came here with a purpose and a message. And I prove to you that this is all that it takes. If you are seeing this in any capacity, I'm telling you, you are the creator. You are. You are. You are the creator. You are. You are the creator. I am that I am. All right. So the physical manifestation. Right. And so I can go into this some more, right? So this was the land of I am. This is I am that. I am that. I am that. All right. I am a speaker. I am a world-renowned speaker. I'm a best-selling author, right? I am that. But the higher level ascension, the godlike level, the ultimate creator level, right, is one that I am that I am. This is the freedom. This is the freedom. So when you can get here, and I am that I am, when you can detach from your name, from your identity, from your story in the present now, if you can unlock and just become I am in this experience, right? I am that I am. You are that. You are in the land of the physical manifested world. You are in the land where stuff comes to know what it's like to be. You can see, you can hear, you can taste, you can touch, you can experience all of life. You can smell. My bad, I almost forgot one. You are that, and I will give you that. But when you awaken to who you really are, you are that I am. And you, from this place, you get to create all of it. Infinite possibilities and unconditional love, right? So now I'm in this place, right? And the flow state of ultimate creation is when you're steadily vibrating. Your I am is in this place of infinite possibilities and infinite possibilities and unconditional love. When you are in this state and existing as I am that I am, your creations can be effortless. I don't know what's possible. I don't know, but I want you to join with me to become a part of the new world where anything is possible, where we don't believe in limitations, where we don't allow the past to determine where we are moving to the future, where we exist in the field of infinite possibilities and unconditional love, where we are co-creators of this experience, exploring more, but the infinite possibilities, only going to the depths to explore of can I be more? Can I be more? The darkness is only the place where we go to ask, can I be more? But in all of creation, when we are existing in the land of physical reality, we are existing from the place of infinite possibilities and unconditional love as an I am, an infinite I am. You are not your name. You are not your birth. You are not your city. You are not any of it. If you can detach, be present right here, right now, as I am, you can create whatever life that you want. You want. You have to be definitive. The only things that come into the land of physical manifestation are definitive possibilities and definitive desires, right? So the infinite space is infinite possibilities and infinite desires, right? And then the spiritual dream space is possibilities and desires, right? Possibilities and desires, this dream, this spiritual. Only things that come into the physical manifestation are definitive possibilities and definitive desires. And when you, as a that, can extend your existence is that when you can when you can release your attachment to that which you are and be present as I am, you can achieve ultimate creator status. This is the highest level where, well, in this creation, right? I'm just uncracking this code. I'm not going to go back into it, right? But in this creation, you can be at that level where you can create new possibilities, new realities, and if all it takes is the observation of one. If I can convince you of anything, if I can convince you of anything today, is that I am is the creator of it all. It's proof. It's proof. I am is the creator of it all. And when you are present as I am, not as the story that you've been telling yourself, not as the story that you've been told, but as a present, conscious being, confirmed of one thing, I am. I just want you to imagine, close your eyes and be just that space. Detach from your body, know yourself as, and be just space and ask yourself the one question that starts all of it. Am I? Do I exist? And when you confirm, yes, I am, you get to determine what you are. And that is the divine right of all of creation. Space itself created everything in reality by getting tired of being just space. Everything, all of growth starts in darkness. All of growth starts in darkness. That's all there is. That's all the darkness is. It's all below the field of desire and the knowing thyself. And when you come here, when you come into this land of light, of knowing thyself as I am, right, you ascend up the ladder of the ultimate creator. But you can skip the line and become that I am. If you can detach right now from your story, from your history, from your trauma, if you can be present right now and be the driving force of your mind and say that is possible, that is a definitive possibility for me. If you can be present right now and say that is I have that desire to experience that as I am, because all of your experiences are I am. You don't have to focus on the money. You don't have to focus on the car, the home. It is all an I am experience. It is a manifestation of you as a version of you that you want to be, showing up and experiencing this experience as the way you want to experience it. And you can do that right now. If you are the master of your mind, if you can channel your emotions and focus them on solving a problem for people. I came here to solve the problem for you, to let you know that you are free. You are born to be free. You were never created to have to work. You were designed to create, because creativity is the driving force of the creative force. That all there is, that space, the expression, your desires, your passions, your drive, your calling is a divine calling of space itself, asking itself, can I be more? And when you are denying yourself, you are denying the living, breathing creator of all creation. I am. I am. But your focus needs to be focusing on being in the condition of unconditional love and infinite possibilities. This is the future. This is the future. This is the future. This is the past. This is negativity. It's going with us. It's ever expanding. But you can always choose to live here. You are going to live forever. Watch the beginning. You are going to live forever as I am. Your consciousness, your awareness, your light, right, will be secure, right? As long as you are already created. You're already here, right? And that is almost an infinite, that is a definitive experience. But what they don't tell you is that you can choose to create from this space for infinity. That's the code. That's the crack. You are the creator. Have a good one. That was fun.